Welcome to a Recipe Reborn featuring your favorite foods from Final Fantasy XIV. Hello, my name is Lemon Drop, and I recreate dishes by combining real-life culinary inspiration with the in-game recipe, description, and thumbnail. If you're into 14 and food, please subscribe and click the bell for a new episode every Tuesday. Today I'm making pumpkin cookies. Yep, that's right, I made 2 All Saints Wake recipes to celebrate. Similar to the Spriggan chocolates and coffee biscuits, this is a sugar cookie recipe featuring fall pumpkin flavors to celebrate the spooky season. So if you've got a bit of pumpkin puree left over, this is a perfect way to use it up with ingredients you probably already have. Again, this is a seasonal item, so there are no ingredients listed, which means another blank slate for me to do whatever I want. I suppose that makes me a devilish imp. As usual, you'll find times, temperatures, and measurements in the description below. I'm starting by creaming the wet ingredients together with the sugar in my stand mixer bowl, but it's kind of overkill. This dough is really soft and easy to work with, and it would be no trouble to mix by hand. If you really want to get into the spirit of the season, you can add ground ginger, nutmeg, and cloves and go for that pumpkin spice combo. Personally, I want this recipe to support and enhance the pumpkin instead of potentially distracting from it, so I'll keep it simple. Now that the wet ingredients are fully combined, I'm adding the dry ingredients using a sieve. Sugar cookies is one of those rare occasions I actually sift my flour for 2 reasons. One is that there isn't much liquid in this recipe to hydrate any potential lumps. 2 is that this dough doesn't rest long enough to hydrate lumps, so my only option to get rid of them is to sift. I'm adding my flour in stages. I want my dough to just barely form a ball, so I don't want to accidentally add too much flour and be stuck with dry cookies. This goes in the fridge to chill and firm up. Next, I'm rolling it out. This is really easy and doesn't take much effort since the dough is so soft. I'm going to be using both this metal cookie cutter and this plastic plungy one just for fun. The plastic cutter works much better dipped in a little flour. Aren't their little faces so cute? Okay, next is the large cutter, and similar to the Spriggan chocolate, I'm cutting the dough with a sharp paring knife to get those pointy teeth and angry eyes. Just keep in mind this is much easier to do if the dough is cold and firm. I can't believe I'm saying this again, but just gouge out its eyes and mouth. These go into the oven to bake for about 10 minutes. And that's about it. Just let them cool and chow down. I think this is probably the easiest dessert I've made so far from Final Fantasy XIV. They've got cute little ghoulish faces, they have a great balance of tangy, sweet, and spiced flavors. What's not to like, really? For me, making sugar cookies is typically a winter holiday activity, but I like the idea of making them for Halloween and Thanksgiving just to change it up. Now I've got a nice snack to keep me going through the haunted manor. Happy All Saints Week, happy Halloween, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week for another recipe and another episode.